Now that I know that he's a Kizomba dance instructor, and I'm very jealous and I hate him already. So I'm going to ask him to, give me half price and teach me how to, or me and Kathy are going to go and learn how to do Kizomba. Right? Pasiano,
Hello there.
how are you doing, brother?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm all right, man. You are the creator of Afro Latin Society
Yeah,
Social,
the
yes.
Afro-Latin social.
Yo, the English bundles, they do run away sometimes, eh?
Yeah, it happens.
All right. This dance thing of Kizombo, it was started and the music genre. They were all started in the 1970s, and they mix Zouk and Semba, and it's a traditional dance from way back home in Angola, right? Now, tell me more about this.
Yeah, so it's basically a dance style that was developed in Angola. It was a mix of the Angolan traditional music, which is one of their traditional music is called Semba.
Yes.
And then they were also influenced by the music that was coming from the French Caribbean, which is the Zouk and the compa from Haiti. And some of the artists managed to then fuse those two styles together and create a new style of music, which they then called Kizomba. Kizomba itself is a word from Kimbundu, which is one of the indigenous languages of Angola, and it just means party. And it's mainly
Oh,
because that is the kind of music that was mostly played when people would have parties just after colonialism and sometime during the civil war in Angola as well. When they would have gatherings, that's the main type of music that they would play. So they just called the dance according to what the music was called as
all
well.
right. So you were telling me that Kizombo means party. That is
Yes,
now I understand.
yes.
Now I understand. And now you see, we can end the whole thing. I'm like this conversation. It's clear to me. All right, look, you've been doing this for 14 years, right? And
Yes, yes.
and how did you get into it? What motivated you to that I'm going to do this one and not that one?
I think one of the main things is the influence of my friends. I had quite a few Angolan friends, and I noticed that whenever they would have parties and they would invite me, they would play different kinds of music, but this particular sort of music is the one that I was drawn to the most because it allowed people to then start dancing with each other. And then as a young man, I noticed that when they would play this kind of music, then it gave me the opportunity to actually go up to a lady and ask them to dance. And that's something that was absent in a lot of the other dances and genres of music. So I thought, oh, let me try this thing because now using this music and this dance, I can get to speak to a lady or engage with a lady, and that's what drew me to it initially.
Are you not,
And then obviously,
are you not Angolan? A name like Pasiano, you would think that you're Angolan.
no. I'm not Angolan, but I've had the opportunity to travel there and to learn a lot about the culture around the music and the dance and the languages as well.
All right, what's the relationship between the music and the dance? Besides the fact that you just mentioned, right, that it gave you the confidence or to approach a girl and ask her to dance, which I can't do, so I'm jealous again.
Well, the relationship between the music is that firstly, the music holds a very strong identity for the Angolan people because it's strongly tied to their culture. And a lot of the themes that are spoken about in the music are about some of it is storytelling and it's talking about some of the history of Angola. It's also giving some, anecdotal stories about different neighborhoods that a lot of people can relate to and different social settings as well. So it holds a lot of it holds a lot of power to a lot of Angolans because when they hear the music and they hear the lyrics and they hear the beat, it takes them back home. So a lot of people that had to leave Angola and are now living in different parts of the world, when they hear the music and they play the music, it really reminds them of home and it reminds them of different things that their parents used to tell them about or that they remember from their childhood or yeah, so there's that very strong connection to home
All
that
right.
it brings for them.
Now tell me, over the years, how has this genre evolved? I mean, I'll give you an example. Kwaito has evolved into a genre called Amapiano right now. They're
Yes.
similar and all the stuff. So now tell me, how has
Yes.
Kizombo, or how does Kizombo today look to Kizombo in 1970? What's the difference between the
So
two?
it's quite interesting because actually if you track a lot of music genres, you can see how they've been able to keep up with the times. And the same thing happened to Kizomba as well, where if you remember, like in the 90s and early 2000s, there was a strong influence of R&B and hip hop
Mm-hmm.
on the world scene. And that influenced Kizomba as well, in that it started a new subgenre of Kizomba that they call Tarashinya.
Mm-hmm.
And with that music, it kind of slowed down the tempo of the music and it also changed some of the themes. So now they started talking more about like love and heartbreak and, relationships between man and woman. Um, and it's because of that influence of R&B and hip hop at the time. In Cape Verde as well, which is one of the countries that makes Kizomba music, they also started making a style called ghetto zouk, and that was also strongly influenced by R&B, where the themes of the music were the same, about interpersonal relationships between man and woman. Um, it would be a guy basically trying to share her, or it would be a woman speaking about heartbreak or how she's not being treated right. Those kind of themes that would come out in R&B. And that also influenced the dances as well, where there was a lot of people that were going to the clubs. So now the way that you dance to the music sometimes will change depending on the setting. So if you were in the club, there's a certain way that you would dance. If you were at a family gathering, there was also sometimes a different way that you would dance.
You know, Oscar,
So the different settings also influence the dance and the music.
you know how us guys will always take our shot, right? All right, tell me. You've managed to use Kizombo as as a thing to foster collaboration, thinking and all the stuff. How have you managed to do this?
Well, in the dance of Kizomba, there is a very clear leader and a clear follower. Generally, if it's a man and a woman, the man will dance as the leader, and then the woman will dance as a follower.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have those two roles put together, there's obviously a lot that they bring out of you. So, because I also teach Kizomba um, I teach different people how to dance Kizomba. So, when I'm teaching them, sometimes a few things will come out. So, for example, if you're dancing as a lead, how do you lead the lady in a way that is not too forceful, in a way that allows her to just relax and settle into you and follow you confidently? If you're dancing as a lady or as a follower, how is it that you are able to shut everything down and make sure that you are mindful and present in that moment? Because if your mind starts wandering, then you start making all kinds of mistakes because Kizomba is a spontaneous dance. So you never know what's coming next. So you have to make sure that you are there so you can feel everything from your partner in terms of what they want you to do, what step they want you to do next. And you also have to listen to the music so that you can make sure that you're stepping at the right time and moving correctly. So all of these things can actually be of benefit outside of the dance. So I've been able to take some of those themes and take them into, different team building workshops and some executive training as well. Just to say, if you are operating in the organization as a leader, these are some of the attributes that will help you to lead your people. If you are operating within an organization and you have to follow a certain direction, this is one of the best ways to do it.
Now, you mentioned leading and moving and all this stuff, and a thought came into my mind. How different is Kizombo from Samba? Because when you mentioned those things, Samba just popped into my head.
It's quite interesting. That's a discussion for another day. Samba is also from Angola, by the way.
Not Brazilian?
Even though it was popularized by the Brazilians, but it is a completely different dance. The music is different, the dance is different. Um, but I think a lot of people that expose themselves to Kizomba music, it allows them to actually scratch that itch to listen to music that they may not be familiar to. So you might find yourself also listening to some samba music, some samba dancing as well, um, because of the nature of the dance and the music. It makes you a little bit more curious about music that you might not have thought about.
Now, tell me, what do you love most about using music and dance to bring together people?
I think the main thing that I love about it is that it allows people to freely express themselves. It allows people to connect. I think for a lot of us that were deeply, deeply affected by COVID-19, where we couldn't have any contact with anyone else, we came out of COVID-19 seeking some sort of connection with people. And the dancing helped a lot of people to get back into the rhythm of actually engaging with another human being without any, ill intent, just for the sake of I'm here for the music and the dance, you're here for the music and the dance. Let's try and connect and dance and be spontaneous together. And I think also it's a great way for male and females to exist in the same space without any sort of anxiety around it in a very relaxed environment.
You are a dance instructor, right? Now, tell me.
Yes, yes, I teach people how to dance Kizomba and Semba. Yes, I do.
All right, now, where do I mean, like, for those who are interested, like me and Choo Choo,
Yes,
we are coming, all right.
yes,
But you need to be
yes. You need to come.
you need to be patient with us. I've got two left feet. Choo Choo has got, has got something going there also, because I've seen a dance and it's not good. So we need somebody to straighten us up. All right. So where do we go? What are the places in Joburg, and if you can around the country, if you know any other place outside South Africa, let us know.
Yes.
For those
Y-
who want to, socialize beyond the borders of South Africa.
Yes, yes, definitely. So for myself, I teach Kizomba to different people at different levels. If you're a beginner, if you say that you've got two left feet, I actually love people that say that, because those are the ones that end up being great dancers because they're not influenced by any other like moves or steps or any sort of individualism.
Also, you think I've got potential.
And yes, you've got a lot of potential. I love it when people say I've got two left feet. It means I can work with you very nicely.
Okay.
And then we've got different socials and parties where we play Kizomba, Zouk, Semba, Compa as well, and Salsa. And for myself, I've got an event coming up on the 26th of April of this month. So the last Sunday of every month, we are at Arturo, which is a restaurant in Melville, and we're there from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. And anyone is welcome to come. Even if you don't know how to dance, you can come to just check out the environment, engage with the music, see some of the people, see if you like it. And then on the 30th of April also, at Zoe Restaurant in Dainfern Square, we've also got another event there. I give a complimentary dance lesson at 7 p.m. So anyone can come and join that lesson, and then they can be able to enjoy the rest of the evening, where we stay there until late and we're just dancing with each other and having a good time.
Oh,
And then for the rest of Africa, well, first of all, I'd like to say that in Cape Town, there is an international Kizomba festival that is coming up in November, where they'll be bringing quite a lot of Angolans from Angola to teach people about the dance of Kizomba and Semba as well, and to impart some of that culture and wisdom to some of us that are very much interested in it. So anyone is welcome to join it as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Pasiano
I
Kiz,
was
and
about to
then
ask you that.
you,
It's a good thing.
yeah, you can get all the information on there. I know it can be a lot, but you can get all the information so that you can pick and choose
Okay, give me those
what you
socials
want to
again.
do.
Give me those socials
Yeah,
again.
so there's my social media is Pasiano Kiz on Instagram and on TikTok. So if you follow me there, you will see all the different events that are coming up and that are happening. And then for the rest of Africa, for the rest of the world, Kizomba has expanded globally because of Instagram, because of TikTok. A lot of people have gotten interested in the dance. So in most of the main cities, you will actually find a salsa and a Kizomba dance scene that you can join, and you can learn how to dance it. And then once you're comfortable, you can start going to the different social events that they have.
Pasiano Sinankwa, thank you very much for sharing your time. It was a pleasure having you on Channel Africa.
Thank you so much for having me.
And then we leave with the Kizomba track.
Às vezes tropeçamos e há dias